Yeah. Yep. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday evening. I got so much to talk about tonight, and time is short. My entire house is sick right now. It should fade easier than that. Anyway, my entire house is sick right now. It started with one daughter. Actually, started with my wife. Then it went one daughter, high fever. Then today it went third daughter, fever. Delco Steve doesn't even realize I was at the urgent care with two children at 5:00 this afternoon. As we went to the regular doctor on Monday, got the strep test. It wasn't a strep. Now it's a strep. So I don't know if we had something different or whatever, but we went from high fever to feeling better for like half of a day to high fever again today. My wife's sick, compounded with I'm trying to get my friggin' lawn mowed, and I haven't mowed it yet this year. And they're calling for more rain later this week, I guess starting tomorrow. And I had to get it cut. It's long. I had to get it cut before it rained again, or I was really setting myself up for a disaster. So I go out to the shed, and the lawnmower is not starting. And I really haven't used it on a regular basis. The last 2 years, I've gotten it done by a landscaper, and this year, and I've used it because like sometimes the landscaper, the beauty of a landscaper is that obviously you don't have to mow your lawn. What sucks about a landscaper is everybody wants their lawn mowed on Friday. And I was getting it done on Thursday, but some weeks that was a Wednesday or a Tuesday. So if you're having people over on Saturday, and yeah, like the lawns, it's long. Especially, I mean, in July, it doesn't matter because it's a drought and half of my backyard, the grass is dead anyway. But so then I end up going out there and I'm mowing the lawn on Saturday morning if I'm having people over on the weekend. But anyway, but with not working currently, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to mow the lawn, at least to start the season. Damn thing wouldn't start. So I'm messing with it. And I just like I think it's the carburetor. I need a new carburetor. I need to clean the carburetor out. Delco Steve, can you help me with any of these things? Because mechanically I'm not inclined.
Nope, that is not. If it doesn't go on the first start, I got nothing.
So you're a laborer. You're not a mechanical type guy.
If I don't know it, I don't got it. Definitely not engines. Engines are not my thing.
Well, first
I
time
can change some oil and all that, but that's about it.
All right. Well, first time it didn't start, and I was messing around with it, and I unscrewed like the carburetor. I'm trying to clean out the carburetor, so it's not. So this is Monday, and I got sick kids. My wife is pissed because I took so much time. I was supposed to be out there mowing the lawn. Like 90 minutes later, I'm like, I can't get the damn thing to start. I could get the lawnmower to start, but it would stall out within 5 seconds. The minute I started moving, it stalls out. So Google tells me it's a carburetor problem. It's dirty, or I need a new carburetor, which I'm not equipped to do that. At least I wasn't in that situation. So I'm like, all right. So I call I get a hold of my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. They live 5 minutes away. So I go and I grab the mower, but it's already now late at night. So Tuesday, I'm like, all right, I got a window of about an hour to mow the lawn. I got a pretty big lawn. It's a push mower. So I got about an hour window. So I get and he was just using this lawnmower, so I know it works. But, there's not a lot of gas left in the lawnmower. So I look, I'm like, all right, I'll mow for a little bit. Then when it goes dry, I'll go and I'll put more gas. So I kick the tank. I'm only mowing for like 10 minutes. I kick the tank and I go to refill it with the gas that I bought not long ago because I used it in my snowblower this year. So it actually worked. The gas worked. I pour it in the lawnmower, the gas, I can't get it to start. So I'm like, the gas is bad. So
now you got to buy your brother-in-law the new lawnmower too.
Now I have to buy two new lawnmowers. No, so I siphoned the gas out because I filled it all the way to the top. I'm like, yeah.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
All the way to the top, and it's not starting. And now I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So
just light a match at that point and throw it in there.
Well, I wanted to put a match down my pants. I was so now I'm like, all right. So is my mower not broken? And I just put bad gas in it. So I siphon the gas out. I go, and by the way, now I don't have a gas container because I'm siphoning the gas out back into my other backup container. So now I got to go buy a new gas can. So I go buy a new gas can and I fill it up with gas. And yes, now it works. So that mower is working. But is my mower not working, or is it the carburetor? So what is your guess? Was it the gas or was it the carburetor? When I put the good gas in my mower, did it work?
I'm gonna say it worked.
It did not work. So it is.
Ah,
I do
so you
need
had to siphon the gas
new
out
lawnmower.
again.
So that took me like 90 minutes from start. So I didn't even get to mow the lawn yesterday. Like I was running out there trying to do a little bit. So long story short, I didn't anticipate not doing the last 2 nights, but like I literally couldn't. I was out in the dark last night trying to mow, and then I was able to finish it off today. But it's mowed.
You want me to go find you one of those push mower things, the just the wheelie ones?
So you know what I did? No, I looked on Marketplace. It's like Delco Craigslist all over again. Now I'm trying to decide, do I spend like $125 on a decent used lawnmower, just go pick it up and then I don't have to worry about it? Or do I go buy new lawnmower, or do I buy a riding mower?
How big's your lawn?
Like almost the whole lot's almost half an acre.
So dads love the riding lawnmower. You just go sit out there, you have a beer while you're doing it. It's an activity.
Most people have a riding mower in my neighborhood if they do the lawn. There's not many people with a push mower. No, and believe me, like I have a great lot. I have a nice flat backyard. I had a riding mower. When I bought the house, the guy's like, yeah, you can have the riding mower too. But then I didn't use it because I was getting it cut. So then my neighbor's like, hey, you want to sell it to me? So I sold it to him. And it's older. I sold it to him. So now what do? Do I buy a riding lawnmower, even though, like, by the way, I don't want to pay a landscaper. I hate the way landscapers cut the lawn. I actually like doing it myself. But with the push mower, it takes about 2 hours to do the whole thing, top to bottom, edging, trimming, doing everything else.
The way I look at it is, if you buy the riding lawnmower, every time you want to get out of the house, you can be like, honey, I'm going to go mow the lawn. So at least you're doing something and you can't get yelled at for it.
Oh no, it's a constant fight. No, it's.
I feel like it's a good investment for you.
No, it's a fight. Every time I like the one of the reasons why I agreed to the landscaper was it just wasn't worth the fight. And I understand when you have 3 kids and you've been cooped up with them all week, and then it's like, hey, honey, I'm going outside for 2 hours to mow the lawn. She's like,
well, it won't take you 2 hours now. It won't take you 2 hours.
See, that's my point. But then she's mad that I got rid of the riding lawnmower.
Well, it was probably going to crap out eventually anyway.
Well, listen, it's still working. So what do? Do I buy a push mower?
Or just go ask the guy if you can borrow the riding lawnmower.
I hate doing that though. No, I don't. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. That's not cool. No. So like, do I buy a riding mower? And like you said, now it takes me 45 minutes instead of an hour, or instead of 2 hours to do. But then, I don't have any money. And I have to make this purchase, which I'm just going to finance. I have so much debt right now. I have so much 0% debt. I just paid off my windows. I have $1,000 left on my guided door and windows. I had to pay that off in a year. House full of windows and doors. That wasn't cheap. I have no money left. Now I'm going to be going and getting a riding lawnmower. Awesome. Let's get an 18-month APR 0% on a riding lawnmower.
There you go.
So it's $250 a month.
You got to figure it out.
It's $250 a month to get my lawn cut by the landscaper. So if you figure it, they cut April, May, June. We'll just start with May. May, June, July, August, September, October. They're 6 to 7 months. $250 a month at 6 months would be what? 25? No. Yeah, no. So it would be
$1,500.
Yeah, it'd be I'm paying close to $2,000 for a season, and I could buy a mower for $2,000. So it more or less pays for it by itself.
It's 1 year.
You know what I was really hoping for? They have these robot lawn mowers, like the.
Oh yeah, they don't work.
They don't work. But I was hoping that the technology would get better to where then I could just have the robot do it.
It's like the Roomba. It's like the Roomba for your outside.
Do you have one? Do you have a? I have a Shark.
No, I don't have it, but I just laugh at, like, I've seen people like set them out in the front yard, and it's like they set it and it starts going, and they go back inside,
And as soon as they go back inside, it like hits something or like it catches like a high part of grass and they can't go in.
Oh yeah, no, or it gets stuck under the deck. No, do you have a robot vacuum?
No, I don't have that. I have a good Dyson. I enjoy the act of walking around with it.
I don't mind vacuuming either.
I think the Roombas are slightly stupid, so they get lost in themselves.
You know what I think it's good for? And the problem is that I have so many toys and shit all over my house.
Yeah,
that
they're backtrack. They're running over the same clean area over and over again.
I'm constantly pulling hair ties out of the thing. It gets jammed. It gets so much hair. It's just easier sometimes to go up and vacuum it and not have to deal with it. It's nice to just set it and forget it like Ron Popeil used to do. But here's one thing it also doesn't do. It doesn't deep clean like a regular vacuum. It'll get the surface stuff and it'll get this. It's good for hardwood floors, is what I would say.
I was gonna say I have hardwood floors. It would work great for me.
Yeah, it's good on the hardwoods, but if you really want to vacuum it deep, it's hard to do. It's good,
and it doesn't get nooks and crannies either.
No, it doesn't. No, regular vacuum doesn't either, unless you're using the attachment on it.
It's a little bit like a square, at least compared to a round,
right?
Shapes.
Well, it's been 12 minutes. We haven't spoken a word of sports, and I'm frankly okay with that. I could talk for 5 hours tonight about non-sports. I've had so many things happen over the course of the however many days since I've been on. Let me share this one, and then we'll move on to some sports stuff. All right. So I had a dentist appointment this morning with Dr. Pastor, my dentist. Actually, it was a sleep apnea 1-year follow-up. I don't use the what do you call it? The CPAP anymore. I use a dental appliance and I don't snore. It's amazing. It really is. So this is my 1-year follow-up with it. And it was 8:00 this morning. I had to be in Bensalem I had to be at Parks for the baseball out of the parks with John Marks. So I took a leak at Wawa at like 8:30, right? So I had my appointment. I'm like, all right, there's the Wawa right here in Royersford, Limerick. So let me just take a leak here, jump right on the highway. Boom. So I took a leak at the Wawa. And then ironically enough, when I got off of the turnpike in Bensalem, I was really early and I didn't think anybody was there yet. So I'm like, all right, let me just go to the bathroom again. Cause I drinking coffee and then I'll go get prepared. I'll just kind of veg out in the car and I'll read some stuff or whatever. So I went to the bathroom in the Bensalem Wawa. You've heard me talk about Wawa bathrooms before, right?
Yep.
It's not a love-hate relationship. It's a hate relationship. They are disgusting. And I think it has less than, well, I'll put it equally on Wawa and the dirt bags that go in there. But Wawa definitely they don't take care of that bathroom at all. Those bathrooms are shitty, literally, right? So the same thing in the urinal. What is your prediction of what in both urinals there was?
Dip pouches.
So good guess. Incorrect. So there was gum in each urinal. So you don't see this as much anymore, but somebody that's literally taking a leak, for whatever reason, decides they're going to roll the gum out of their mouth, look down, and let gum drop into a urinal. And it happened at both Wawas, one in Bensalem and one in Limerick, that there was gum in the urinal of both of the urinals. And I haven't seen it in a while. And the fact that it was in a Wawa says a lot about the people that go in Wawa and Wawa. And I like Wawa. I'm not trying to kill Wawa here. They should take better care of their bathrooms. But seriously, have you ever dropped dip or gum in a urinal, Delco Steve?
Not that I can think of.
Not recently.
not in my mature adult life.
And here's why I have a sore spot for it. I, at one time in my life, was an office cleaner. I worked at a factory in Willow Grove called Kulwicki and Safa. I was a senior in high school. And then, like, my first year of community college, I worked at a different factory. But this was like a legit factory. So you did where they had offices and things like that. You got the trash or whatever, and you vacuumed. But then you were out on the floor. And when I say they have bathrooms, like they have 2 huge bathrooms where there's a locker room in the back, and there's probably like 20 urinals or whatever. And people are disgusting. And when you have to clean these bathrooms, like, think about this. Think about this. That somebody has to actually get that gum out of the urinal. whether it's in Wawa or wherever these Neanderthals are putting this gum, somebody's actually has to go in there. It's their job to clean it, and they don't do that much at Wawa, but it's their job to clean it. And you know what? I'm going to go back there tomorrow, see if the gum's still in there. She's probably going to be in there.
I think about that at like bathroom, like thinking about that bathrooms and bars, like people throw the bottle in the toilet. It's like, well, who do you think is getting that out of there? Like, what kind of asshole are you that you think you're just big, like you're cool enough that you can just do stuff like that?
Yep. Well, so and maybe people have heard me say the story once. One time, and this has less to do with Wawa, so I won't rip Wawa for this. But I was doing a Wendy's. I had an event at Wendy's, and I forget exactly what we were promoting, but I was at this Wendy's down towards Mike Troutville. It was in Vineland, I think. And some dude was like really trying to get out of the bathroom, almost knocked me over trying to get out of the bathroom. And I'm like, what the hell? Right. So I kind of like looked at him. I thought it was weird. And then you look in the stall. So depending on the Wawa bathroom you're in, and I have a very weak bladder. I'm like an old woman. Don't judge me for it, but I constantly have to have to pee. I don't know what it is. And so there was only one urinal. So you get the one awkward urinal that's buried in the corner next to the stall, right? So there's one stall, one urinal. Somebody was in the stall. So I'm like, all right, someone's in the stall. I go over to the urinal. This dude took a dump in the urinal because it was still steaming. So if you think about it, let's go through exactly what happened, right? He goes rushing into the bathroom because he's got to take a dump, and somebody's in the one stall that's in there. So what do? You ever hold it, shit your pants, or you go in the urinal. He went in the urinal. I would have shit my pants.
I think I pulled the trash can out and just sit down on the trash can. That would be my move.
So I talked.
Because at least no one has to clean. Potentially, you could just wrap that up and be like, "Hey, I'm taking the trash out for you guys."
Or the sink, like Veterans Stadium, take a dump in the sink. But there was a steaming pile of poop in the urinal of Wawa.
Imagine being like, "Oh my god, I hope no one walks in while I'm just sitting here."
No, so seriously, what do you do there? See, I'd shit in my pants before I'd shit in the urinal.
I would go outside and go find a spot.
But if you're
I grab paper towels on my way out the door and I go find a spot.
So, but if you literally, and we've all been there, where you have finally you're like, oh, I'm gonna shit myself, and you make it to Wawa without shitting yourself, and you run in the bathroom and you're like, oh my god, and then somebody's in the stall and you're like, holy shit! Like at that point, it's got to come out. It's got to come out. You held it as long as you can. What do you do?
And then you already mentally prepared yourself to be like good in like, oh, I'm going to be good in 10 seconds. And you walk in and it's just like, nope.
So anyway, and by the way, just a short note on this. So then I brought it up on the air.
Today?
No, after it happened. This was in 2000.
Okay,
I worked with Anthony at the time. So it was 2016 probably. I wish I sold it. I had a picture. I took a picture of it. I don't have the picture anymore, so I was looking for it. But I have the event at Wendy's. I know why I deleted it. So I brought it up on the air, not to rip Wawa, not like I'm doing right now with saying their bathrooms are disgusting, because they are. But just because it was like an ironic, like, I can't believe that happened.
Oh, Wawa. You're doing a promotion for Wendy's.
Right. I was doing a promotion for Wendy's, but I had to go to the bathroom and I stopped at the Wawa. No, but so even though Wawa wasn't advertising directly with me or anything, but they spent a lot of money with it was Greater Media that I worked for at the time. So it was the Fanatic, MGK, MMR, Ben FM.
XTU.
XTU was not there. No.
Nope.
But so I guess they were big spenders within the cluster. So obviously someone heard it and was pissed that I was talking about it. I didn't even make it off the air, and I was getting totally yelled at. Like, you don't talk about an advertiser, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Maybe they should clean their bathrooms and it wouldn't have to be a problem.
Right. Well, I mean, I wasn't ripping Wawa for the bathroom when it wasn't their fault that some dude took a dump in the urinal. But anyway. All right. Well, there you go. By the way, speaking of Anthony, I'll be on PHLY tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Back on with the cuz?
Back on with the cuz tomorrow at 10 a.m. So Tune in tomorrow or watch it. If you can't watch it live, watch it after the fact. And whatever. Where are the worst bathrooms? Let's continue to not talk about sports. Where are the worst public bathrooms and where are the best public bathrooms? Best public bathrooms, Starbucks. Always clean. Always clean. Like you can always count on if you see a Starbucks, you're going to get a clean bathroom. There's 2 of them. Like if you, God forbid, you got to go number 2, you have privacy that you can just shut the door behind you. You don't have to like hide in the stall and hope nobody comes in. So Starbucks is my vote.
Chick-fil-A, good one.
Chick-fil-A has to see. I can't say that it's not in my rotation of where I go. Starbucks and Wawa, heavy rotation. Chick-fil-A is a good one. You know where they also have the worst? Any pharmacy. CVS, Rite Aid.
They let you go to a bathroom in those places?
They have bathrooms. Yep.
Never would have thought of that.
Right. Well, until you're like you have to change a baby or something like that, or you have an emergency. But yeah, they never clean those bathrooms in there. I have literally
because they were like, no one uses these. So why are we gonna clean them?
No, but I'm talking about like they probably haven't cleaned the bathroom in weeks. There's like shit on the walls and whatever. But yeah, no, it's terrible. Great bathroom, reliable, not great bathroom, good bathroom, Target.
I can see that.
The Target bathroom's fine. It's better
sense.
than Wawa. It's an upgrade on Wawa, not quite Starbucks. There you go. And Wegmans bathrooms are very good as well.
I feel like you go to the bathroom in public a lot more than
dude.
me.
I'm telling you, I'm like an old woman when it comes to having to pee. Honest to God, I don't have this many issues as you do.
So
also, and then we'll officially move on. And this pisses me off at Wegmans. So at Wegmans, they have a stall, right? You go into the bathroom. They have one stall. They have 2 urinals, and then they have what they call the family bathroom. And I come into this because if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to change a diaper. You go into this separate bathroom in the bathroom where it has a door that closes behind you, and some privacy. And then it has where you change the diaper. It has the what do you call it? The tray that comes out. You can change the diaper. But the employees go in that one to go number 2. So I can't tell you how many times I've went in needing to use that. Like if I have to take a leak and I have my 2-year-old with me, I'm not going to have her stand in the middle of the bathroom while I take a leak. I want to go in the family bathroom so she doesn't, you know what I mean? And meanwhile, I got guy in produce taking a dump. Yeah, the guy in the produce is taking a dump.
I don't envy you for this, buddy.
All right, whatever. Yes, and it is part of being diabetic, and I'm 47. So that doesn't help. And I drink a lot of coffee. Sean, you and I are on the same page. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And I've been drinking a lot of water, too. I'm like you, Steve, with the water jug.
Dude, the 90 ounces of water a day is a pain in the ass.
It sure is, man. It sure is. All right, well, let's lead with this. Eagles in Brazil against
got that one wrong.
Against the Packers. Well, no, I mean, weren't people from the Browns saying on radio shows that they were opening the season in Brazil? So that was never confirmed. They were just following the rumor mill, right?
I get apparently, unless the Packers just had some backdoor deals that got them in there.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. So anyway, the Eagles and the Packers. I saw
Sean Watson wasn't welcome in Brazil.
Yeah, so that's my question: is it better to get the Packers early or the Browns early? And I feel like the Browns early because Watson's coming off the injury maybe would have been better than getting a midseason.
100% agree.
And the Packers, I mean,
the Packers could come out like a juggernaut right away.
Yeah. Yeah. They were kind of peaking at the end of the year. Jordan Love was playing great. So the line comes out. It's a 1.5 line. I didn't see if it moved. I was actually just trying to look.
They actually came out with a line and did not see that.
Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't know if it was one of those offshore things or whatever. Eagles, Packers. Let me see. Point spread. See, a lot of times they use DraftKings sometimes comes out with it. Yeah, so it's Eagles are minus a 1.5. I don't know if that's moved or not. It's a kind of a Packer line, right? Even though the Eagles are the home team, they don't have any home field advantage.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So it's a slight nod to the Eagles, but not much. I'm wondering where the money comes in on that. Something tells me Packer money will.
That's good. I think will be dogs by the time week.
Really?
Yeah. Because not to insult Eagles fans by any means, but there's probably a lot more Packers fans.
Yeah. It's also, I would think that the general public would remember what happened to the Eagles last year and remember like the way the Packers season ended. It was like, wow, Jordan
They
Love
should have
really
beat the
play.
Niners.
Yeah, like they looked really good. And you think of now Jordan Love as being a really good young quarterback, and you feel positive about the Packers going into this year. And then you look at the Eagles and you're like, well, what the hell happened? Right. So I think that can help shape the initial point spread that comes out. But then from there, a lot of the betting is going to determine. I mean, sometimes they set a line and you'll get heavy on one side and the odds makers will leave it, or they'll even encourage more because they're trying to get the suckers in. So yeah, I don't, damn it, I'm trying to find it. So anyway, it was 1.5 when it opened, which is a slight tip of the hat to the Packers for their line right there. Are you gonna try to get in early there, Delco Steve?
No, that's not I don't like betting that way. I don't like having my money out for however many months when a game.
That's way too early.
Yeah, and like we don't even know what the teams are going to be yet. Like we got the draft in 2 weeks. We got Howie doing his thing right before the season starts. You know, these rosters aren't even close to done being shaped.
Nope. Yeah. By the way, Sean, I do occasionally have the pee bottles when I'm driving long ways, but I did not have a Turkey Hill or a Rosenberger jug to pee in. So, all right, we're done with the bathroom talk. Did you also see this? So this is interesting for fans because I didn't even think of this because I have no interest in going to Brazil to see the Eagles or go to Brazil to do anything else.
I would love to go to Brazil. Yeah, Rio is 100% on the bucket list.
Really?
I'm gonna wait till maybe it gets a little safer, but
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't need hepatitis C or getting robbed or anything.
I want to climb Christ the Redeemer. That'd be cool as hell.
I'm not telling you I wouldn't go to Rio, but there's probably 30 places I'd rather go before I'd go there. A lot of it's because of safety. Anyway.
If we just take the safety aspect out of it, it's probably a top 5 spot for me to go just to see.
Really?
Yeah. It would be up there. But then when you start factoring all those other things, it probably gets knocked down the list.
Yeah, Herb's going to be there. Maybe you and Herb can.
Yeah, I'll tag along with Herb. And that sounds like a great trip for me.
Herb may not make it back. Honestly, they may find him and be like, "Hey, let's take his organs," and be like, "We don't want his organs. Let's just dump him in the river."
They want from him.
Yeah, I'm with Don. I would much rather go to what I see on Instagram. I want to go to Spain or to Italy, and I want to go to one of those islands up in the hills.
I'll be there in August. I'll be in Italy.
Really?
Italy and Portugal, Italy in August.
Are you really? Oh, dude.
Yeah, my cousin's getting married. My cousin's getting married in Portugal, so planning.
How long are you going for?
Well, actually, I was just looking at it earlier today. I think it's like 12 days is the final number.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. It'll be my 3rd time going to Europe wise, but a second time in Italy.
Yeah, I have to. I love somebody else I knew was just in Spain, and it's the same look as the pictures you see from Italy and Greece, and it's like, holy shit, it doesn't even look real.
Spain was my least amount of time, but I was in Barcelona. Had a hell of a time.
I want to go to Barcelona.
Barcelona is awesome.
I like everything that's on the water, on the sea, or on the ocean is what interests me the most.
Nice, France was my number 1 city.
Yeah?
Where the Cannes Festival is for the movie festival. Yeah, that was Nice and Monte Carlo were awesome.
Look at you.
We'll travel.
He's cultured. All right.
Very cool.
What's safe for Brazil or Delco? It depends what part of Delco.
Probably Brazil.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm kidding.
So anyway, you don't need a visa to go to Brazil.
You don't wait, what?
So I was reading this tonight that I don't know if it's the president of Brazil, but some dude in Brazil wants to waive visas. So any American, Canadian, or from somewhere else as well, you can go to Brazil without having a visa. Because I actually probably need to renew mine, but there are maybe some Eagles fans that would be turned off because they would have to get that visa. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting by Brazil. Like, why not? What do you care?
Is
You got a
that
bunch
like
of
on
NFL
top of
fans
your
coming in.
passport?
What's
It's
that?
like, is that something on top of your passport or just your passport?
Well, so maybe I shouldn't have said visa. I should have said passport. Passport. Brazil.
Because some
passport.
countries are required like a passport and a visa. Like there's like different obligations. I
So
don't know.
it says here you would need both a visa and a passport to enter Brazil. And what I read today was it said you don't need the visa.
Yeah, so some countries have like that double thing where you need the secondary.
So you'll still need a passport. You just won't need a
Correct.
visa to do it. All right, that makes sense.
Correct.
Would you want to go to Mexico City?
I would go to Mexico City.
I don't want to go for an Eagles game, but I would
go to see a soccer game.
I would like if the Phillies went and played in Mexico City, I'd be totally in. I would love to go see. Yeah, I'd like to see a soccer game too. My cousins, my aunt and her two of her sons. John's a Spanish teacher. Matt went to school for Spanish, but he never ended up teaching Spanish. But they've been all over the place. They've been to so many Spanish-speaking countries, and every year they would have a different. Because my aunt was a Spanish teacher, and she was like the head Spanish teacher, and I think it was Morristown High School in Jersey. So every year they would have a different exchange student from a Spanish-speaking country that would be like at Thanksgiving or at like whatever holiday. Yeah. So they love Mexico City. It's the reason I bring it up. I would love to go to Mexico City.
Surprisingly, I haven't been to Mexico yet. Don't know how. But yeah, Mexico City would definitely be up there on my list of places.
You never been to Cancun when you were 19?
No, never been. I did Bahamas when I was 19. That was overrated as hell.
Was it?
Yeah. It was,
well, but it isn't. So you didn't like Bahamas, huh? I've never been to the Bahamas.
Like don't get me wrong. The beaches are beautiful. The resort's cool. But like, if you want to, like, if you're not the person that's just sitting at a resort the whole time, which is definitely not me. Like, I like doing activities. I like going out.
Right.
I like having my days filled. And that Bahamas is not the place. You leave the resort and you're like, I'm going to get shot.
And you're chilling. Yeah. You go to chill at the resort, then you go home. So it's probably 3 or 4 days in the Bahamas. And after that, you're bored.
Yep. So it's like, I like these kind of trips where it's like city to city on the beach, but you're doing stuff or I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's time to sit around and relax too, but I like having stuff to do. Yeah,
I got bored in Aruba. I went to Aruba on my honeymoon, and we got bored after. So we spent half of the time on the one side, in the one area where you stay, where you like it's not kids. It's not the high rise area. I forget what it's called, but they're like you're right on the beach. It's really nice. It's a little bit more quiet. And then there's the more downtown area where they have high rise hotels, and that's where kids can stay, and the pools are great. But like we went on a Jeep tour. We did pretty much every event that you could do. And I could sit at the pool every day, but I also can't spend a couple $100 a day drinking and eating to where day 10, it's like, I just want to go home. Like, well, I don't want to spend any more money. So anyway.
The one place if I'm going to go sit somewhere, I want to go to like Fiji and just plop my ass on the beach and just not move for 7 days.
You would like Hawaii.
I'm sure I would love Hawaii.
Hawaii has a great mix. There's a lot to do. There's different beaches all over the place. There's hiking. There's
Well, so one of the things we're doing for Portugal is the Azores, which is apparently the Hawaii of the Atlantic.
Really?
So, and it's like a quarter of the price.
Right.
So
it's not cheap to get to Hawaii. That's for sure. And to stay there. I always Verbo it. Or get something like that to where I'm not paying a hotel. And then you have because I mean, in Waikiki on Oahu, there's high rises all over the place. It's like you have you get a nice apartment on a high floor that overlooks the ocean and you're paying half of what you pay at a hotel. It's actually the best way to do it.
Good to know for my future endeavors.
There you go. For your honeymoon. So I know you'll be probably getting married soon in a serious relationship now, Delco Steve.
Yeah, it's going good.
Well, I mean, you guys are still in contact. I know you guys still talk and you still see her.
She's coming on the trip with me. So,
she's going to a family wedding.
Yep.
Oh, lock it up.
Yep.
Lock it up.
We did meet the parents on Easter, and we went and had dinner with her sister and her sister's fiance last weekend.
Oh man,
we haven't had an update. We haven't had an update in a while.
Wow. Well, I'm like, I kind of leave that in your book. I knew that.
Oh, we've been sidetracked lately.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
But no, it's been good. Everything's good.
Look at that big smile on his face, everybody. Look at him. He's in love. Yeah. Now I think this is. I would actually be proud if the moment where you guys started dating and it got serious and you got married was on this, whatever this is that we've been doing here for the last few months.
They're pretty much in sync at the same time.
It started right at the beginning.
Yeah, it was our first date. It was like the day or 2 days in on this.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, I know a jeweler if you
there you go.
Jeweler too. All right, so real fast on the Eagles here, and then I want to move on. We've got a lot of stuff to get through. So, this came out. I think McManus was the first one that kind of put it out there, and then now everybody writes about it. But I guess the Eagles and Howie Roseman talked about it, where they're negotiating with Devonta Smith on a contract extension, upwards of $25 million a year, because that's what the next round of wide receivers are going to get. So this is a lock that AJ Brown isn't finishing his contract, right?
I'm telling you, man, I don't think $50 million for 2 receivers is going to be a problem for most teams going forward.
Listen, I'm not telling you that I don't want 2 great wide receivers, because I do, but Jordan Mailata just backed up the Brinks truck. Landon Dickerson's the highest paid guard. Lane Johnson's one of the highest paid tackles. He's making almost quarterback money. Cam Jurgens is not making a lot of money. Who knows who your right guard's going to be? I guess my point is, in a lot of your guys on the defensive line are on rookie contracts, so maybe you can make it work that way. But it's a lot of money to invest for 2 players at wide receiver. It's a passing league, so it's not stupid. But I just wish that they'd be able to draft and develop guys to where they're not making a lot like Devonta Smith, but the minute you got to pay him $25 million a year, having an AJ Brown at $25 or $30 million a year is a lot of money. So
I think he would finish AJ would finish his contract depending on what kind of issues you would come across with. You got 2 years left now? Because it was a 4-year deal originally, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So if you get through this year, probably no problem. See what happens in the offseason.
There's a potential out after 2025. So the way the contract's designed, he's not going to play under his existing contract in 2025 because his cap hit is huge. It's $26 million. And then the final year of a contract, the cap hits $41 million. All that means is if he's staying, they're going to redo the contract.
Right. So I'm saying they would cut him after
$27 million next year for him.
Well, I'm saying if anything, he would get through next year and they would cut him before the $40 million cap hit.
Yeah, but $27 million cap hit.
Yeah, but Devontae's isn't going to be 20 something million next year.
No, you're right. But
if you had them in sync where they're both in the mid 20s, then that would be the issue. But Devontae's deal is still going to be, the cap space is still going to be lower at this point. His will be higher towards the end, like AJ is. AJ's gets higher.
Yep. Yeah, Josh Allen, not the quarterback, the edge rusher. He had 17.5 sacks last year.
First good season.
What do you get? $30 million a year?
Yep.
$88 million guaranteed. And again, I want to see.
He's the third highest player. He's the third highest paid defensive player. How does he get more money than TJ Watt?
He's the next guy that comes and does it.
Yeah, but he's only done it 1 year. All
right. So would you give AJ Brown a new contract after this year? And let's say that there's no perceived problem. He has another productive year.
No problems, and you get the numbers correct. Yes, because you got these cap numbers. The team cap is going to keep going up.
Yep,
they're going to. It's But yeah, I don't see I don't know. I don't see the issue for $50 million for 2 wide receivers. The way the game's played nowadays, and with how the cap has been increasing exponentially every year.
But you know what's crazy? And who was the guy? Was it Wilkins that signed with the Panthers?
Christian?
Or is it Wilkinson? I'm blank. Anyway, the Panthers signed a defensive tackle. He was a first round draft pick.
That Brown.
Well,
Yeah,
whoever,
you're confusing the Miami D
Yeah,
tackle Wilkinson that went to Las Vegas. They just signed Brown for 20 something.
Derek Brown.
Yeah.
So you look at the money he's making, right? And you're talking about defensive tackle. This isn't an Aaron Donald. This isn't a guy that's getting to the quarterback 15. It's like Chris Jones. He's not getting to the quarterback 15 times. I mean, he obviously is a good player, but you're getting guys that get like 6 sacks, 5 sacks a year, and that are defensive tackles. They're getting $25 million a year.
Well, he also he set the record for tackles, I think, by defensive tackle last year.
He did. No, you're right. He did. Okay. Well, so you want to pay Jordan Davis $25 million a year?
If he can prove that he can tackle somebody, sure. He hasn't done shit.
Yeah. So last year, this Brown had 2 sacks and 103 tackles, combined tackles.
Yep.
2 sacks, 1 sack the year before that. Sorry, I'll get a big fat guy that can play the run. I'm not giving a guy that can't get to the quarterback $25 million a year. Sorry.
I agree.
And that's the problem when you draft Jordan Davis is you're setting it up to have to pay him $25 million a year or letting him walk.
Well, that was the thing with Jordan Davis. He was supposed to be able to be the run stuffer with the ability to because he was supposed to be the guy that was going to stuff the run and then add 6 sacks to it on top of it, which would make him worth that number.
Right.
But he hasn't done it yet. And Kyle Hamilton looks really freaking good in Baltimore.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. It burns you every time. All right. So good to know that the Eagles are working with Devonta. And we know they're not going to let him leave. They drafted him.
100%.
How he hit on a wide receiver, you think he'll pay him $30 million a year if he has
just to have him.
Yeah. All right. So 76ers. Have you been paying attention? I know that you're pretty down about your Flyers, their Delco Steve, because they're
dude. I wouldn't have had a laptop after last night if we were on air for that game. I would have snapped this thing over my name. I just would have went black. That was so piss poor. I've been in on the. I watched some of the Sixers last night when I had to turn off the Flyers game to save my electronics.
The Flyers are not going to make the playoffs. Is that
they're fucked? I've tried not to curse on the show for 2 months, and I don't care. They're fucked.
Yeah, occasionally I think you can. It's necessary to use the language.
I'm so fed up with it. The fact that they have 2 points in the last 8 games is. I'm sad. It's Masters Week. I'm on to the next thing.
But real quick, does Tortorella survive? He's back next year.
100%.
So he gets 1 more year.
Oh, I think he has more than that. I think he's locked in with the Danny Briere and Keith Jones triumvirate. He would have to really screw up to not be here for a few years.
Okay. All right.
I think they're designing this team based off of him.
Oh, awesome.
So you kind of got to keep him if that's your game plan.
Well, so the 76ers, right? So they have 2 games left. The Pacers have 2 games left. If the Sixers win both games and the Pacers lose one of their 2 games, the Sixers could be the number 6 seed. Otherwise, they're going to be the number 7 seed. So if the playoffs ended today, which they don't, the Sixers would be in the play-in tournament. They take on the Heat. So the Sixers are the 7, Heat are the 8. So they would play. And then 9-10, the Bulls against the Hawks. So the winner of the Sixers and Heat advanced to the regular playoffs. The loser of that game would play the winner of the Bulls and the Hawks. So Bulls and Hawks plays. The winner of that game has to play the loser of the 76ers and the Heat, if that's what it ends up being. So the Sixers would host the Heat, and they'd still get a shot if they lost that game. They've won 6 straight, and Beads looked great. But, I mean, doesn't it, like, I don't even want them to be the 6th seed. Because
I want the 7. I want the 7 seed.
I want the 7 seed because I want Doc Rivers and the Bucks in the first round. Would there be anything better than Doc Rivers coming back to Philadelphia for a playoff series?
Giannis got hurt last night.
I didn't see an update. I know it's not an Achilles, but
yeah, it's a calf strain.
It's a calf, but is it a calf strain where he's going to be hobbled? The playoffs start in 10 days. The real playoffs start in 10 days.
There's no way he's 100% in 10 days. There's no way. He might be close, but there's no way he's that 100% going forward. Could play 48 minutes or something like that.
And the Bucks have been. I know they won their last game, but
they're up on the Magic right now.
Are they beating the Magic? So
they
lost.
They beat the Celtics yesterday when the Celtics sat half the team.
So listen to this. They lost to the Lakers, lost to the Pelicans, beat the Hawks, and the Hawks, aren't great. Lost to the Wizards, lost to the Grizzlies, lost to the Raptors, lost to the Knicks. The Raptors are horrible. The Wizards are horrible. They beat the Celtics, and the Celtics are kind of going through we got a couple.
The Celtics aren't playing anybody.
Yeah, the Celtics are one of the best teams in recent memory, at least during the regular season. So anyway, the Bucks are ripe to lose, man. And the Sixers, let me say this. The Sixers are ripe to beat them in that opening round. Because Embiid's back, he's playing great. And let's face it, the Bucks are a really good team. They're not the Celtics. And if Giannis is hobbled, and there's obviously something that's going on, and Damian Lillard has not worked out well for the Bucks. Just hasn't. So I don't know if there's chemistry issues. Normally with Doc, there's chemistry issues because the guys don't like him. I don't think the guys like him. Doc Rivers is under 500. Remember when they fired their coach back after 43 games in? They were 30-13 under Adrian Griffin. They fire him, and they're 16-17 under Doc Rivers. How about that?
Who could have thought?
Yeah, every Sixer fan out there. I wouldn't even have thought they'd be that bad. So I am begging for the Sixers to be the 7th seed.
So the 6 seed, 7 seed conversation. If the Cavs end up the 3 seed and the Bucks end up the 2 seed, I don't care who I end up. Like if I end up 6 or 7, I think you got a huge coaching advantage over both those teams.
You can beat the Cavs.
You could definitely beat the Cavs. Embiid's still the best player in both series, potentially, especially if Giannis is hobbled. So you got a shot against both of them. And then guess what? Even if whoever you play, you're probably playing the other one in the next round. So you got a shot to have a straight shot to the Celtics in the conference finals. And you never know if someone could knock them off.
Yeah, no Sixer fan would be scared of the Knicks, but the Knicks play a brand of basketball that
the Knicks would scare me more than both of those teams.
Then who?
The Cavs or the Bucks. The Knicks scare me more than both of them.
I'll give you more than the Cavs. I still don't know about the Bucks. I mean, they were, they won a championship. They were close to getting back, but they also don't have Drew Holiday. No, I don't disagree. But by the way, so do the Sixers. No, that's what I'm saying. See, that's why I don't like the matchup against the Knicks, because the Knicks feel like a team that aren't going to crumble in big moments in the playoffs.
Yes. Like and they got the tenacity. They have guys that compete on a regular basis.
Tom Thibodeau, if he gets the right group, is a really, really good coach, because they're hard nosed. They play defense. Dude, I'll be the first to tell you, I was wrong about Jalen Brunson going to the Knicks. I didn't think he was going to turn into the player. He is a stud. He's unbelievable. I can't believe, man, he looked really good in Dallas. He surprised me how good he was in Dallas. But then I'm like, all right, he's playing off of Doncic, right? So he goes to New York, where he's the best player, or he's 1A, whatever it may be. Yeah. And
1A, 1B with Randall.
Right. And he's much better than him. But going there, I didn't know that. And damn, he took another step in his career. And he's really, really good. He's going to be a perennial all-star for the next however many years.
I mean, he's dropping 40 like every other game.
43 the other night against the Bucks. So I don't like the matchup against the Knicks. The Celtics are the best team.
I think he had 45 last night too.
Did he have 45 last night? Yeah, he's really playing well right now. But I'm telling you, man, Delco Steve.
Yeah,
Doc
45
Rivers,
against the Bulls.
Oh my God. Really? Doc Rivers returning with the Wells Fargo Center in the playoffs.
There's no way he doesn't choke here. There's no way. There's no way. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if we end up in the 6th seed and we play them in this, if they get through whoever the 7 is, it's like, cool. It's like, I'll take them in the next round. And then you have the Celtics get knocked up or knocked over by somebody. Like, hey, could be it.
Don't knock them up, though. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't knock them up.
No.
I got a nice Denver Nuggets Sixers future for NBA Finals that I thought was dead forever ago. So.
What does that pay out if it happens?
It was like $20 to win $650 or something like that. I did it, 2 months into the season.
Right. When the Sixers were rolling. Sixers
Yes.
were rolling at the beginning of the season. You're right.
And then it was like they were offering me like a 30-cent cash out at one point when Embiid was out. I was just like, I might as well just keep it at this point.
So the Heat are losing tonight. So it's obvious you wouldn't want to play the Heat, right?
If the Heat end up as the 8 and play the Celtics and potentially beat the Celtics again,
but also
and then they're on the other side of the bracket.
But you have to play them.
But they're on the other side of the bracket. So if they're an 8 and beat the Celtics, there's another team that could potentially still knock out the Heat.
Yeah. So the Heat losing tonight would give the Sixers, because the Sixers obviously want the advantage, want the home court against the Heat. I don't want to play the Heat in the first round. They're not a team that anybody should be afraid it's going to win a championship or anything like that, especially at this point. They easily beat the 76ers in a playoff game. Playoff Jimmy Butler,
if you're making me rank the teams who I'd like the least likely I'd want to play, it'd be Celtics, Heat, and that's the order. And then after that, it's just kind of like, all right, and then it's like Orlando, if they had some experience, like I probably wouldn't want to play them, but they're like first year coach-ish, not like, or first year at this stage of the season, and then a bunch of young players that are really talented but haven't been there. It's like they don't scare me yet, but in a year or two they probably would. They're the only two teams, the Celtics and the Heat, and they play in the first round. One of them's going home. That'd be fantastic.
Well, unless they beat you, and then you have to play the winner of the Bulls and the Hawks, and now you have to play.
And then you play the Celtics.
Yeah, they're not beating the Celtics. We can sit here and I can be glass half full, which actually I'm kind of feeling with the 76ers right now. I think a lot depends on what their matchup's going to be, whether or not, what they do in the playoffs. If they get a good matchup, maybe they could win a second round series. But you're not beating the Celtics, man. Drew Holiday just got an extension today. It's like a 4-year. I forget how many million it was. It was unbelievable. Yeah,
the fact that he's still in the NBA is insane to me.
4 years, 135 million.
I feel like I was a kid when I was watching him, and now I'm in my early 30s.
Remember who the Sixers traded him for?
Let me see.
It was a draft pick that turned into a player.
Who did they trade him for? They traded him to New Orleans, right?
Correct.
Oh, was that Bynum? Was that in that trade?
Nerlens Noel.
Oh my God, even worse. That's even worse.
The draft pick that was Nerlens Noel. And I
remember six overall.
Yep. And Drew Holiday's turned into a really good player, but the Sixers were never going to have him his whole career. That was never going to work out. He was going to go to a couple different places. Drew Holiday's a good player.
And he's an exponent. Like he was good when he was here, but he's 10 times the player he was.
Man, he's a great defender. I think his 3-point shooting percentage this year, because he's not having to take as many shots, is the high. I think it's like 43%. It's the highest, his career high. From the corner, he's shooting 60%, like 62% from one spot in the corner, which is crazy.
That's awesome. For him, not for us.
The Celtics would beat the Sixers. Quick story about Nerlens. I was trying to book John Calipari. I don't even know if it was. I don't know what year was that. I don't know if I was a producer or a host at that time.
I was in college. My roommate in college loved Drew Holiday. He was a huge Sixers fan, and he was on the Sixers my sophomore, junior.
2013, he was drafted. So I was
Nerlens. Yeah, so he got traded in 12 at the end of the 12 season.
Yeah, so I was probably working middays at the Fanatic then. But anyway, I got Calipari on the phone. John Calipari on the phone. And it's one of these things when you try to book guests like that, he didn't want to go on the air, but he didn't mind talking. So it was before the show. And back then you didn't text guests. I don't know why. But you didn't really text. Like I called a lot of people. And Calipari is like, don't worry about his offense, his defense. Like he's a game changer defensively. He was telling me this guy was going to be like a huge star.
Kembe Mutombo.
Yeah, he was telling me he's like his offense will come around. Don't worry about that. He's like he's a game changer defensively. That's what's going to be his calling card. And I think the biggest thing with Nerlens was that he was baked half of the time, and he didn't take his craft seriously. Yeah, it's just some things that that you hear going around, but he he made some money, but he's still just kind of going through short-term deals. I think he signed a 2-year deal for not a lot of money, maybe last year. But
he's still in the league?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, these guys can play the league forever.
Oh, that's true. Udonis Haslem just retired. Like, what was that last year?
Dude, these guys back up. What's his name? Toby and Bobby. Bobby's still in the league. Boban, he doesn't even play, but they like to have him on the roster.
It's good. He's a good character guy.
Is he not playing this year? I don't even know, man. It says that he has a salary. Let me see. Is he out of the league? No way. He's not even in the league. Wow. I guess he was waived by Sacramento. He signed with Sacramento and he was waived. Man, no, so he's out of the league. All right. Well, there you go. John Calipari. He's out. All right, we'll end with this. All right. So are you a horse guy there, Delco Steve?
Like horse racing?
Well, I mean, have you ever ridden horses? You have any?
I've ridden a few.
All right.
My mom and I did like a horse thing and a horse like trail riding thing in the mountains in North Carolina a few years back. That was pretty cool. She's into horses, so we've done that a couple times.
Well, you not in the horses like this veterinarian in Fredericktown, Ohio.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where are you going with this?
Dr. Philip Diltz.
Oh, God. I'm scared.
Is charged with having sex with a pony and 2 counts of domestic violence against his wife and daughter. And that's not funny. That part of it. But, and it was because of what happened. So, yeah, so there was a, I just lost the story that I had up. All right, here we go. So he's a veterinarian and it's allegations of sexual conduct with a Shetland pony. During an interview on Thursday afternoon, Diltz said the allegations regarding the horse made by his wife and daughter are not true and are the result of a divorce he and his wife were going through. It never happened. I'll be exonerated. It'll just take some time. However, when police were called, the daughter advised dispatchers that her father had been caught having sex with a horse and had access to guns and was threatening to shoot himself and others.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. So Brenda Diltz, who is the daughter, told deputies she went to the barn to use a hose to put water into a trough. She saw what she believed. No, this is the wife. She saw what she believed was her husband having sex with the pony.
So the husband was behind the pony is what we're getting at? It wasn't.
Yes.
Okay.
No, so the wife, because you can relate to this. You went to use the hose to put water in a trough, and
for the pony because the pony's thirsty,
and the husband's having sex
after a invigorating workout.
She told deputies her husband tucked himself back in and questioned what she was doing. He said, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" and ran to tell her daughter, who was in a nearby van. Why was the daughter in a nearby van? Diltz then allegedly told his wife his life was over and that he was going to shoot himself. And then the disagreement became physical.
Put the pony out of its misery first.
Oh, my goodness. Deputy Brandon Feeney said he interviewed Diltz at the scene and advised him of the animal violation alleged by his wife. Philip replied, I was about to, I wasn't, advising that he hadn't done it yet. And he was humiliated.
Doesn't count. I didn't do it. I didn't actually do it. It doesn't count.
He said, quote, pretty humiliating. What could be worse? He then denied making any threats towards his family. That was in the police report.
Getting railed by the pony would be worse.
To the newspaper. So first of all, this guy's not doing an interview with a newspaper. So a reporter calls him and he's openly now talking about, now he's just denying it. All right. So Diltz had the following to say to the newspaper reporter. He said, we had a sick horse and I was waiting for it to eat its oats. I was standing behind it and I took it by the tail and it was turned and I took it by the tail and was turning it when my wife looked through an opening in the barn. He said his wife accused him of having sex with the pony and ran away. I'm sure she did run away.
I feel like that's not a place you'd want to be standing behind the pony while you're doing something like that, because if they kick you, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, because I usually, when I have a sick horse, I stand behind the pony with my pants down, probably, while it eats its oats.
Oh god, dude, I don't like. Have you ever seen like those videos of like horses like kicking people?
Yeah, they'll fuck you up.
There's no way I'm standing anywhere near the horse from behind.
No.
No, you couldn't pay me enough money, let alone do that.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. Now, unfortunately, no one had the balls to do a news story. So this wasn't I don't know where Frederickstown is. I mean, I guess it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, but I don't know if it's close to Cleveland or like whatever. But you would think that somebody from a news station would be like, I got to do a story on this. And then you'd have to have the anchor being serious and saying like, a Knox County man has been charged with cruelty to animals after an incident that happened. Blah, 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 blah. 66-year-old Andrew Diltz was released on $75 bond, by the way. He was arraigned. So, yeah, like no one's doing a news story about it. They should have to do a news story about it. There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
so,
no. I feel like that could have been a lot worse, but still not good.
So, this was probably his first. I'm sure he's never had sex with a horse before. This is just one of these times where he's like, hey, you know what? Let me go have sex with a pony.
His intrusive thoughts won that battle.
I actually saw another story that said that his daughter said he was drinking vodka, so he was hammered.
I would hope so.
And he said he's going through a divorce and there's problems in the marriage. So, it's probably been a while since
Is the pony better looking than his wife? That's a better question.
It's possible. This guy also was the oldest graduate of his veterinary school. He didn't become a vet till he was 50 or something like that. I was reading the amount of reading I've done on this story, and this guy is, it's awesome. Yep. But there you go. So stay away from those horses.
Just in time for Derby season.
Oh, that's right. Well, I was at Parks, where we do our show at Parks Casino is in the racing area.
I've been out there a couple times.
So we're right next to where her name's Jessica. She announces the races.
Okay.
And so her booth is right next to ours. And it's looking out through the booth and seeing the entire thing is really impressive. It's cool. it used to be called Philly Park before it was Parks Racing. I used to go to Philly Park right when I turned 18. It's like, all right, what can I do now that I turned 18? I can buy cigarettes legally and I can go to Philly Park. So I went to Philly Park. And one of the first times I went there, I did what's called a trifecta box.
Oh, I got a great story from there about a trifecta. Continue.
What is it? $6? A tri box is $6, or is it $8?
It's more than that. It's two. It would be. It's a dot. Well, if it's you're doing for $1.
It's a $2. It's whatever it was. It was a $2 bet for each of the thing because you're boxing.
Yeah. So it'd be 6 different combinations. So it'd be $12.
Okay. Whatever it was. One of the first bets I ever made, I hit. Just dumb luck. I'm like, yeah, I'll just take like these 3 horses. There's a favorite. Here's a mid-range, and here's like a semi-long shot. Boom. Well, like a couple $100 on a $10 or $12 bet or whatever, and I was hooked until I never hit it again. But
my buddy and I were out golfing that way years ago, and he's like, "Oh, I got these gummies for us." Like, and I was like, "Oh, I got a great idea. Let's take them like on 18, and then go over to the horse track and watch the races." And he's like, great idea. Dude, these things didn't hit till like the last race. It was like 2 hours later. And I'm sitting there, I had like a slip with $1 left. I was like, whatever. I'll go to a trifecta. I don't remember the numbers. It was like, I wanted to do like 265.
Right.
Watching the race, the final 3 horses are coming down. And it's like, oh, it's 256. I'm like, come on, dude, switch. And I'm like, oh, shit, I lost. Look at my slip. I was so stoned. I typed it in wrong. I won $275 on $1. Just because I screwed it up because I was stoned.
And you couldn't even feel your face at the time. You're just like, where Where do I go? Did you lose the money after you collected it?
I was literally ready to throw it in the trash. No, we went and played craps, and I won some more money too. So it was awesome. It was good. Ended up being a really good day because we couldn't drive home after that because we were still stoned. So we went and played craps.
Right? Yeah, you shouldn't be driving. Oh, so it hit you late. You must have had you ate a lot of food or something, and it took more time to absorb.
I guess. Who knows? Or they were older. I don't know. He got them from a customer of his or something.
Well, that happened to me one time on mushrooms a long time ago. And
yeah, I don't mess with the psychedelics.
It hit me all at once. Well, I mean, that's what they eat them now. Everybody eats the mushrooms, chocolate covered mushrooms in California.
Microdosing shrooms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't since that incident. I won't touch them again at all. No. We're going back to like I was probably like 21 or 22. Like, fuck
none of that sounds fun to me.
It wasn't that last time, believe me. Nope. It was like, I'm not feeling it. Ugh. And then all of a sudden it hits you at once and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We actually had a friend, we'll wrap it up on this, that he wasn't weed guy. So he got these, they used to get like these cases of taffies. This was before it was like now everybody just goes and buys it on their own. They used to get like these cases of taffies. And like, I don't know how many people were in on it or whatever, but they would get a certain number or whatever. And so he's like, yeah, he's like, I want to try it. And it's like, it's like, just take it easy. Like start off with a little bit. You don't realize how strong these things are.
You could add as you go. You can't backtrack.
So he ate like half of it. And these things apparently were strong. And just by eating half of it, he didn't eat anything else. He's like, I'm going to call 911. He was just it hit him hard. He was just in his house being like, can somebody come over here? I want to call 911. Like, I'm not okay. And it's like, oh man, like I know the feeling, bro. Like that sucks. So yeah, he'd go over there and just calm him down. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Did that with a blondie in college. Ate a quarter. Oh, it didn't hit. Ate the second quarter. Next, I'm like comatose on the floor.
Yep.
That's not a fun experience. Everyone who's ever taken an edible has done that at some point in time.
Yep, you learn the hard way.
You learn the lesson the hard way, no matter what. And
you learn not to leave one in the drink holder of your backpack because your dog may get into it.
Oh.
Still feel bad. So many years later, I still feel bad about it. So anyway. All right. Well, listen. We'll be back tomorrow night, and this is not going to be. I'm doing PHLY tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So I don't like Anthony. Anthony was offering me a job on the air last week when I was on there, and like I was like, all right, like let's talk about it. So we'll see where that goes. So this may now morph into a once or twice a week show where it can be officially like Delco Steve and John or something like that. And maybe we do 2 hours instead of an hour, but we're still going to be doing it almost daily coming up here for the next couple of weeks. But, there's some things on the horizon. So I did see that they got Jim Salisbury. Yeah. So Jim's going to be doing some it's not a full-time beat thing, but he's going to be contributing once or twice a week from my understanding. So Jim Salisbury on PHLY, which would be great. I love Jim. He's awesome. But anyway, Delco Steve, I'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock with Anthony Gargano on PHLY.